recording. Yes, it's gonna be working. Okay. So yesterday we have just talking about some the routing security policies, how the security policy is gonna working in Juniper environment. Today we have some different topics today. So routing policies, different routing policies gonna working into this Juniper environment, Junos operating systems. So most probably, I would like to know that what you knew about the routing policies is all about. Your ideas or suggestions you would like to share to me about the routing policies?
I'm not sure. You mean like routing instances? Not sure.
What?
Or for VPN, I know they say there's a routing policy version and there's another version, and that was they always confuse me the two types of policy VPN and the routing VPN. Not sure.
Okay. VPN topics we will be covered separately. No problem with this. So all the doubts will be clear in the same topic, like VPNs, routing policies. We will going to do it as separate topics. We will have to cover it. But today we have the routing policies. It is basic fundamentals of routing things working into the news environment, and how it is different from the different vendors like Cisco, like Palo like Sonic Project access point. Okay, and we need to use some different protocols, the applications routing, the community routing sort of things. We are speaking into this particular slides. Okay, let's continue then. The routing policies, the import export. So what do you mean by import? The policies, export policies, and the forwarding tables gonna working, and the other routing protocols gonna working. Yes. Any ideas you would like to share to me?
Oh, so like with OSPF and BGP, I think Juniper has something default. Um, Everything is imported default in OSPF, and you have to export like a static route, or if you want to redistribute anything, you gotta export it into the table. There's always something confusing, but for me, it's confusing. But then you export it to the table. And the same goes for BGP. I know BGP doesn't advertise to the neighbors, so you gotta I believe you export it. Um, if you want to advertise it, and then you can import and export eBGP routes into IGBP.
Yes, in the BGP, altogether different sort of things will be coming to the picture once the route advertisement. But as per this particular slides, if you have to take a look, we have import, we have export, we have forwarding tables, we have other routing protocols. Okay, so just look at the picture. We have some neighbors, the routers at the left hand side, and we have some routers at the right hand side, left and right side, both things. So once the neighbors routers is going to provide some routing informations to this particular router, this routing table is there. Okay, so it is going to be import the routes. Okay, and then the routing table is going to be forwarding, so it's going to be export the traffic to the routing tables. At the same time, we have some different protocols gonna working, like BGP protocols, like OSPF protocols, sort of protocols is this gonna be working sometimes. So the import, the export of the informations, the advertisements of the routes, it is called the import and export sort of things. In the routing to forwarding tables, it is going to forwarding the your routes to the Juniper routing table, and the routing forwarding table is going to be decide where need to I go to send to this particular routing information to the destination site. So the import policies control the route importations into the routing table. So import policy is going to be control the route, how your route will be going to be working. Importation into the routing table and importing the data, importing the routes into the routing table. But export policies control the route exploration from the routing table. So import is how to import in your routing table advertisements, okay, different routes, and then once the routing table, how to send traffic and how to send a packet to the destination site. Okay, export of the routing table to the destination site. Suppose the reference site, the reverse is going to be providing the informations, and then it's going to be the router, the routing tables, and the routing tables check it out where I have to send my packets, and then it will be going to be export. And in the right corner, you just take a look. PFE, packet forwarding engine, is going to be working here there. So Juniper device, okay, Juniper operating systems is very advanced. Okay, he is very smart to sending the traffic where I need to get the packet and where I have to send the packet, because the matter of fact that the packet forwarding engine is a routing table inside this, and routing tables is going to import and export the traffic. Yes, we have talking about some more things about routing policies. So we have some going to take some examples about the BGP, the OSPF, the ISIS, okay, and RIP. So if we're talking about some BGP protocols, the import policies, they accept all BGP routes and import into interface 0. So what happened in the BGP is going to be accept all the BGP routes and import into interface 0. And then what happened, what's going to be done in the export policies, export all active BGP routes. So whatever the active routes of the BGP sort of things, it's going to be exported. So as you just check it out in the default policies of the routing policies in the Juniper device, we have different platform of the protocols, different activities going to be happening. So BGP is going to be accept all the in the import policies, the default policies will be configured over there in the route policies. All the packets are BGP will be import on the specific interface 0 or whatever, and then the export policy accept all the active BGP routes. So whatever the active routes, it's going to be sent, accepted. Okay, and we just talking about some OSPF, open tunnel path first. So accept all OSPF routes and import into interface 0. Okay, then in the export policy, what happened? Reject everything. Protocol floods by default. So it is going to be reject in the export policy. That nothing looks like that. It's going to reject floods by, because the MAC flooding, the IP flooding is this comes to the picture, is going to be happen. So it is going to be reject everything apart from which traffic we have to allow. And the ISIS accept all ISIS routes and import. So all the routing informations, routing tables, routing informations of the ISIS is going to be accept. And same thing is they reject everything protocol floods by default. And RIP accept all RIP routes from accessibility configured neighbors and import into interface 0, reject everything. So the everything export policy is nothing like that in this particular RIP routing information protocol. So RIP version 1 and RIP version 2 is also available, but nothing is changed like that. So the matter of fact that this is the things I'm talking about in the routing policies by default available into the Juniper devices and what are the different activities has been performed by this particular Juniper on if you not configured any policies, and if this default policy is available on the Juniper devices, so what are the use cases of this particular policies, like import policies, default configured, then this is sort of work has been done. And export policy, same thing is applied over there. Suppose you have configured this OSPF into the routing policies into the Juniper devices, then if you're talking about some export policies, so everything is reject everything. So protocol floods by default. So you need to be configured the manual routes where the traffic will be going to further. And if you configure the RIP in routing information protocol, so it doesn't reject everything. Okay, if the Juniper device don't understand what it's all about in export policies, so it's better you have to go for the BGP sort of things, configurations of the BGP protocol inside the Juniper devices. That's really intelligent and really smartly working the routing policies inside this Juniper devices. I hope you understand. Does it make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect, wonderful. So, my dear friend, what happened in generally, if you're just talking about if you have ever worked on the Juniper devices, okay, and uh, uh, the, the matter of fact that the BGP and OSPFs, this sort of protocols, we are going to use it, but we doesn't have to be configured like the Cisco protocols. We don't need to configure into the Juniper devices. Okay, and because the matter of fact that Juniper devices are very intelligent, very smart operating systems, and it is the very advanced things is going to be routes. So the Cisco platform, we have different protocols we need to run it, different routing tables going to be created, okay, and different routes will be happen. But once we are talking about some Juniper devices, we have some different routes, okay, and different metrics, different calculations of your metrics. Altogether is you just find out some different things. That is why I'm talking about that the BGP is product gateway protocols like eBGP, external BGP or internal BGP. We need to define the static routes where the routes need to be sending to source to destination site. Okay, so we just talking about some default routes in the routing policies inside this particular. I can say that the Juniper operating systems how it's going to perform. We have another topic right now is routing policies, then statements. So this is the policies we need to be configured manually. This is the policies we need to be modified. This is the policies is need to be what you need to write down, what sort of activities need to be performed on the Juniper devices. So as per this my policy, so first of all just write down the name of the policies which you can be configured. Like this policies will be impact on the specific department wise on the use cases like that. This is for finance policies or HR policies, or you can say IT policies, guest policies, what sort of this sort of things. Okay, and a routing policy consists of 0 or more chains. So some software evaluates from sequentially until it reaches a terminating action or end of the policy. And the from statements describe match conditions. So we have match, no match, and no match. If the statement is from, okay, where is the routes coming from, and it is matches the policy as you have configured, then what action needs to be taken? If the route is coming from the source end and it doesn't match, then what action needs to be taken? The two conditions is available in front of you. So the both things you can be configured in your routing policies. If it is matched, then if it is not matched, what things needs to be done next. Suppose it is matched, then user defined policies and term names, team names need to be defined over there. And then statements describe the actions to take if a match with the form statement occurs. So matter of fact that once you're going to configure the routing policies into this Juniper devices, you need to be understand the source and destinations and what is the matching criteria of your routes. So what I'm trying to tell you here is what we mean by matching criteria. If it is matching the conditions, whatever you find it, write it down. Suppose the host is configured on the BGP side, okay, and some clients, the client is going to ask you that, hey, I would like to go to the YouTube accessibility of the devices. Some clients is going to be accesses the YouTube from your internal office. So if you have configured the BGP protocols into your Juniper devices, so Juniper devices is just going to check it out in the policies whether this user is matched with the internal users. Yes, it's an internal users. Okay, which department is comes from is the department is the CEO or CTO department or the senior management department is comes. The match condition is matched, then it is the policies you have configured, the where I have to send the routes of YouTube so that users can accessibility is fast. So the top management will getting is they are going to get access on the YouTube very fast, and the bandwidth utilization will be working faster than that. But if the conditions are not matched, suppose the lower management or the person we don't have provide the YouTube access on the client side, and he's trying to get the YouTube access. So first of all, the traffic, the source is coming from the lower management, and the conditions will be matched same time. So the YouTube not accessible same time as per the policies, so traffic will be discarded. So we will just talking about later on that whatever things will be happen. But once we're going talking about the routing policies, the then statement. So we need to write it down. The traffic is coming from where, from, and then we have write down the policies as per the required, and then the policies are going to be send the traffic to the destination site. Then after that, as per the match conditions. Okay, so we have some routing policies criteria. You have this commonly X selection criteria. You have going to use it in day-to-day life or in your routing. So prefix. So Oscar, do you know something about prefix? What is all about? How can we going to use it, the prefix, and what is the importance of a prefix?
There's the subnet mask. You identify the route by the, like, say, like slash 3031 3025 prefix.
Prefix like your IP addresses, my dear friends, and the subnets. How do you confirm that this is the suppose example like that 192.168.1.20 slash 24. Suppose this is the IP address and slash 24, this is the subnet mask is there. So how do you say that? How many number of hosts? How many sort of prefixes there?
How do you say?
Pardon?
Not sure.
Yes, please go ahead. Prefix is like your IP addresses, my dear friend. Suppose I'm talking about here default IP addresses. Okay, default IP addresses, it means as Juniper environment, you guys need to do some default IP addresses. So 0/0/0/0/0/0. This is your default. Default IPs here. And once we're talking about 192.168.1.1/24, this is your prefix. So you just find out the different prefix into the routing tables of BGP and OSP at the same time. Okay. So show BGP.
Like if you put .1, that's an IP, but if you put the 0 for the whole network, does it make a difference?
Come again.
Like you put .1 representing /, represent the whole network, but if you put a .0, would it accept that?
1.0.
Yeah, like 192.168.1.0 /4.
No. You need to provide some IP addresses.
Okay.
Provide the specific IP address.
Okay.
Because we are not defining the range. If you're going to provide the range like 192.168.1.0 or 1.1 series, okay. So once the prefix is specific like IP addresses. That's it.
Okay.
So protocols. So the matter of fact that if you're just talking about some show BGP route command, okay, in the BGP sort of things, so you have to just find out different routing prefixes over there. So it's a matter of fact that what type of IP addresses you're gonna provide there, 192.168.1.0 and 1.1 or 123. So it's a different indications like what things we need to indicate the prefixes. Suppose it's a device, it's a specific routes. Yes, it is IP addresses. If we're talking about some specific indication of range of the particular route or the neighbor device is going to use it, then the ranges also comes to the picture. So it's matter of fact that the conditions is more important, where the things which is going to be count. Then the second thing is protocol. Yes, so I would like to know that which protocols we are talking about here. The routing policies, have you ever tried the show BGP route commands, or have you ever done the show IP route command in the firewalls, the routers?
Fairly, yeah, I do it sometimes, but it's not like second nature to me. So, I gotta play with it, remember, and that's why I want to do live. But
okay, no problem. So my dear friend, the matter of fact that in the routing policies, suppose you are facing some issues, you are struggling to doing the routing, okay, and you don't know how to get to fix out the VPN routing policies is not going to be configured properly, and you don't know where the packet is going to be sending the destination site or not destination site. You would like to know that how many number of routes and where the protocols, which prefixes is going to be used. So simple things, you need to go to the routers or firewalls, and you just write it down the command line show IP route, okay, for OSP sort of things. So BGP route for BGP connectivity sort of things. So you just provide. So in the protocols is right down there. This is BGP for B, OSP for O, then specifically the IP addresses. Then write down some prefixes over there. So these things will be there in the routing table of your BGP or OSP sort of things. So the matter of fact that if you're going to the routing of router of the Juniper devices, so most probably you just find out some BGP connectivity is over there, and the BGP connectivity you need to check it out. Show BGP route command, and then you just find out the different routes is available. Okay, and then you just find out, yes, these the routes, the source and destinations, the prefixes, everything is there. So it is very important for the troubleshooting approach. Yes, and the next hop up. So how do you say that is the next hop connectivity? So next hop is basically when the traffic is going to be sending traffic to the next hop. So have you ever checked the neighbor tables, neighbor things? Suppose your routers or your firewall is going to be connect one to another things. Then the neighbors table will be coming to the pictures. So next hop, where I have to send my particular route to the destination site. Next, forwarding packets. Okay, so these things will be clear over there. So options are the policy, match criteria, prefix list, filter, supports top 3. So we have given the starting prefix of 192.168/16. This is the range. What matches each options? So we are going to matching it. Then we have going to use this from right hand side, this one. We have no longer going to use it to down to /32. You are going to use it. Okay, and we have some longers, we have up to, we have prefix length, range. So we have different matches criteria. Prefix list filters. We have to longer than that, we have to shorter, we have to exact matching the criteria. So these sort of things is there. Yes. So routing policy communications. So I will let you know that, have you ever configured the manual routing? Have you ever done it on the router sides on Juniper devices till now?
Yeah, but I'm not like, when sometimes you're doing stuff for work, you're just doing things on the fly, so it's like that's how I want to do my own lab. So it's just like I know what's going on behind the command. A lot of times it's just, it's like a blueprint. You're just changing around numbers, just copy and paste, show the display, okay, they just change the IP or something. But I don't really know what's going behind the design or why things work the way they do.
Don't worry about it. I have provided number of commands, and all as well as I will going to provide some troubleshooting approach, the techniques, which commands you're going to be use it, and what things you need to be check it out in the commands. Okay, suppose I can say simple things like your interface goes down in the Juniper side. Okay, so which commands you're going to use it, and what sort of things you will going to be check it out. Suppose your ISP link is going to be flapping, and okay, and the packets is going to be coming others. So how would you like to check it out? Which commands you're going to provide it, and what are things are working at the backend side? So that's really important for you to understanding the Juniper operating systems to for troubleshooting approach sort of things. But matter of fact that before we going for all sort of things, we need to understand the concepts about the routing things, how it's going to working. Okay, altogether it is different from the routing things going to working from your Cisco devices or then in the different vendors. So what I'm trying to tell you, first of all, you need to understand how the security policy is going to working, how the routing policy is going to working. Okay, so as per the syllabus, we have talking about some BGP, we are talking about ISIS, BGP, IS, and IGRP, and routing policies. So we have routing policies is the number one thing you need to understand as per JNCIS, because in the JNCIS, we're talking about JNCIS is the basic things you need to be understand before you going to the JNCIS. So JNCIA for the first topic will be routing policies. Wait a second here. Hello. Hi Divya, how are you, ma'am? I'm great. I'm enjoying my life. Work from home. Yes, we had a word some time ago. I know that. I remember. My memory is very fast. Yes, yesterday I had a word with you or your team, different person. I don't know, from MIT, and she told me that I am very lucky person in this world, and because I am in getting some I don't know what she's talking about. Mm, scholarship. Yes. Yes, so tell me what is scholarship, what's program was all about, because I have taken the certifications of MIT, uh, mm, yes, Juniper, uh, I can say that in the cybersecurity and the Python. Yes. So what is scholarship inside this thing? Yeah, I'm paying all. Mhm. Okay, okay. So how much total cost is there with GST, with everything? 1,20,000 still there after the scholarship discount. So it's a postgraduate diploma course or what? It says, okay, right. So just looks look like that. So send me, could you please send me the email so that for this all things mentioned? Yeah, please send to me on my mail ID so that I will go through it, every topic, everything inside this. Okay, bye. Take care, bye. Hello, Oscar. Again,
Hey,
coming. So, my dear friends, there it is the routing policies. So, routing policies, common actions. Okay. So,
mhm.
first of all, before we go into the policies of routing and different actions, you have to write it down into the policies. How the routes going on? What is the routes is basically? What is the importance of routes? Why we going to create the routes? Does it require into the Juniper devices the routes or not? Any suggestions, anything you would like to share to me, sir? This is the routing, this is the things is gonna working. If the routing is not available, suppose we have routing, I know that. If we going not going to create the routing policies, then what happened?
uh, I mean, and with BGP and OSPF, BGP needs IGP, so it needs OSPF. So you need to import the policies or export it, or to work with the BGP, the IGP. So for routing to go out and accept certain routes and restrict,
So,
you need the
Oscar,
policy.
let me correct you. The protocols are different. The routing policies are different.
Uh,
Okay. Suppose you're talking about some BGP, OSPF, ISIS, RIP. These are some protocols. Okay, these protocols can be used in any routers, different vendors as well. Like Cisco routers, you can use OSPF as well. Okay, so if you're talking about some routing policies are different things altogether, and routing protocols are different things.
Okay.
Okay, please go ahead.
Well, I mean, you got to reject the routing, the routes, or accept the routes. So you can prune or, kind of like restrict or make available routes to the routing policy.
Yes, there it is. This is the common actions needs to be done by the routing policies. So I'm talking about here. The protocols can be used any protocols, whatever you feel it. Okay, as per the company need. First of all, before we going to the routing policies, which is protocol is going to use for what? Suppose I'm going to ask you a question. Why we going to use BGP? Why not OSPF? What is the difference between OSPF, BGP, and MPLS? How comfortable you are? What you know about the protocols? Once
So,
you understanding the protocols, you can implement routing policies more effectively, and it is going to working very efficiently in your Juniper devices. Just please go ahead.
so the IGP like OSPF doesn't work on the internet. So that's why you need OSPF, and it's faster than BGP. So you use it for your internal network, and then for the internet, you need BGP, and MPLS is like a layer 2, works with labels. Not sure how you refer it in the routing policy, but because I'm fairly familiar with it, but you use labels to go across your layer 2 and layer 3, and it works with BGP. To go out through the internet most times with MPLS and BGP.
So what I'm trying to do, Oscar, if you just if you allowed me, I can be provide you some informations about the MPLS, BGP, and OSPF. In the next few sessions, we will gonna run on understanding about this particular protocols, the BGP, because yes, which port is gonna use the BGP. This is very important. The types of BGP is very important. What are different commands of BGP? That's really important. What are different links want to be created in the BGP? You need to understand what is the advantage of BGP. What is the business scenarios, business case we're going to use the BGP. So this is the things you need to be understand very thoroughly before we're going to implement into the Juniper devices. Why? The reason behind it, if you are good understanding of the protocols, you have understanding that yes, suppose you're going to do the troubleshooting on the Juniper side, and you don't even know that which protocols, which layer on which protocols this particular BGP is going to work in. So you know that the eBGP have different ports and iBGP has different ports, and BGP have different ports. Okay, and different autonomous systems gonna use it in BGP environment. If you're talking about some OSPF configuration side, so we have different LSs created. We have some autonomous system is created. We have inside routes and outside routes. We need to define it. We need to understand virtual forwarding, virtual routing forwarding, VRF tables. If we're talking about some MPLS side, multi-protocol level switching, it's layer 2 or layer 3 protocol. It is going to be implement some levels on the packets, and then it will go to the destination side. So the traffic engineering is all very important. What the things will be things gonna working on the ISP, Internet Service Provider end. So I will going to tell you BGP, OSPF, and MPLS in next 3 classes, so that you have good overview about the BGP. Suppose you are struggling to do some routing things on the VPN side or in the routing side, so at least you have understanding of the routing protocols that you can easily understand. Yes, and suppose if you are going to be configure this the BGP protocols in any Juniper devices, you have understanding. Yes, which commands are we going to use it. Suppose I would like to say that yes, in the OSPF, BGP, or MPLS, how to find out the routes. You need to provide some command line tools. Okay, so we will go together BGP, OSPF, MPLS. These are the 3 big things we need to cover it. Okay, and then once you understand all things, then it's very easy for you to implement the things on the routing side of the Juniper devices. Any questions inside this?
It sounds great.
Right. So if we're talking, because I understand, Oscar, what happened, but the problem is I'm going to find out we need to understand some basic fundamentals more thoroughly before we're going to implement into the labs, or we can say in the Juniper devices. And suppose I'm going to teach you about the routing policies, but you don't know which protocols, where I have to use it, what is the use case, because it is very important to understand over there. Because right now you're working in a company, there is a BGP protocols going to be working. But suppose you are going to switch your job, and different company are going to use some MPLS on the Juniper side, then another issue comes from in front of you. So it's better to understand the protocols which is going to be used in Juniper's routing, and then you will comfortable zone that yes, if this routing protocols BGP is there, I can manage it. If it is gonna working on the MPLS, I just gonna execute the things. I know that how things gonna working on the MPLS side. If it is gonna working in the OSPF things, yes, I know that. So these are the 3 big protocols are going to be used. Okay, and we're just talking about in the multicasting sort of things and ISIS RIP as well. So okay, this is also important, but not as far as the BGP, OSPF, and MPLS is important. That is all about the JNCIS is all about. The VPN things, yes, it's very important. But before we go into the VPN zone, suppose we need to understand the routing policies, security policies, interface configurations more thoroughly, then we can understand the VPNs, how the traffic is routing, how the traffic will be encrypted. So most of the times what happened, the engineer is going to be struggle in VPN because they don't know the basic fundamentals, like at the side-to-side VPNs, okay, the phase 1, phase 2, the encryption keys, how it's going to work in. Yes, we were talking about each and everything, but the matter of fact that we need some time. We don't go everything in one class, step by step. That is the right approach we can go for it. Okay, so yesterday we had talking about some security policies. Before security policies, today we are talking about some different thing like routing policies on the routing side. So at least you have some understanding. Yes, this is security policies, this is routing policies, this is we have just talking about some interface configurations some time ago. Yes, we know that everything. In next few classes, I'm just going to provide you some MPLS, BGP, OSPF informations, protocol informations. Then how can you going to be execute on the Juniper devices? That's really easy for you. So let's come back into the slide. So terminating actions, accept and reject. So once we're going to talking about some routing policies, the routing policies, the common actions, which traffic we need to terminating. So matter of fact that if you're going to get some rough rogue traffic, like rogue traffic, it means that the traffic which is not useful to you, okay, and suppose it's the traffic which is coming from the hackers, the intruders, we were going to reject the traffic. We have to allow the spread packets like we have talking about yesterday in the security policies. Whatever things we can be allowed and accept, all we can reject. So we need to write down in the manual routing policies which traffic we need to allow, which traffic we need to deny, like accept traffic or reject traffic. So this is the talking about right now is static routing is all about. We have manually configured the accept and reject policies as we require, but we need to show about the destination side. What are the different IP addresses? If you don't sure about the destinations, IP address, gateway, prefixes, then there may be more chances that you have misconfigured your policies, routing policies, that it will not going to work. Another term is going to use flow control, next term and next policies. So flow control is like how your traffic is going to be flowing. So once it is matched one policies, another policy will not match how the traffic flow is going to use it. Then we have modifying attributes for community, add, delete, or and set, and preferences. We need to provide some preferences, my dear friends. Which traffic we need to allow first? Have you ever understanding the term like quality of service on the packet side?
Quality of service?
Quality of service, packets. Have you ever known the terms like quality of service of the packets?
I don't know, Juniper device. But preference, I thought that was
Yes.
you know, like the default preference for static routing 5, I
Yes.
think.
The same thing I'm talking about here, preferences. Suppose the different vendors are going to use quality of service like Cisco devices or different devices, okay? But in Juniper, this different thing is there, preferences. We have to preference the traffic which is going to first. Example like suppose you have voice traffic is going to moving in your routing of Juniper side. So are you going to provide him preferences or not?
Now I know. I didn't know you'd do that.
Yes.
I know in Cisco they do quality of service, and then you can do by class and some maps, class maps, and forgot the other one that starts with a P. But
Yeah.
and you do the service policy, and you tell it what interface to go out of. But I didn't know in Juniper they did it by preferences. I never
Juniper,
really, yeah,
no,
I never
we
saw
can't
quality service Juniper.
we can't do it. We can't do it in Juniper side. The
Okay.
Juniper side we have provide some preferences only. Yes, this is the preferred entries is there. That's it. Simple. So the thing is important to understand in this slide you have checked it. The traffic is coming from where and it is matched or not matched. Conditions apply. then what needs to be done? What is the next packet we need to send it out? The statement describes the actions to be taken if a match with the form statement occurs. So preferences, we need to provide some statements. Match, no match, then what needs to be done with the packet. So this is the thing, add, delete, or set. So that is why we need to provide some set commands on the Juniper side to configuration sort of things. We need to set the community sort of things. Yes, so I already suggest you guys also that we manually define routes, default routes, and route preferences default 5. So this is Trump is going to use it into the Juniper devices, the static routing, and also the preferences default 5. So default routes we can going to use it, suppose 0/0/0/0/0, then / and then 0. This is your default routes. And when you define routes, you have to statically write down the informations of the prefix on the Juniper side. In the preferences, by default in the Juniper devices, we need to set 5. It's lower than that. It's lower. That is why only the preferences sort of concept into the Juniper devices, not other different vendors. You not find it. Yes, we have added nothing options, routing options. So in the routing options, we going to be different editing. We can going to do it. Destinations prefix, valid next hop. So we need to write down the prefixes valid, because Oscar, what happened if you're going to write down some static routes? You should be very sure that what is the next hop prefix ID, valid ID. It means that. So prefix valid ID, if you have know that, then you can write it down. If you don't know, then it is the problems with your routing tables in the routing. So if you're going to write down the specific IP address /10./00/0/0, so your Juniper device operating system is very smart. He can understand what is the next hop is all about. But at least one prefix you need to be write it down. Unreachable next hop not active. So the thing is, on the Juniper devices can be going to understand if the unreachable device is not reachable, is not active. P2P point can use interface name as next hop. So your next interfaces, this looks like to be your next hop going to be created. So what are the use cases of the static routes? If you're going to do dynamic routing, there is no issue, because routing has been done by the routers. He will going to decide where is the right things is available, where I have to send my next hop, what I'm going to do, and it will going to check it out the protocols. BGP have different convergence, OSP have different convergence, MPLS has different sort of convergence. But the matter of fact that Oscar, in the static routes we have the things available discard. So if you have going to work on the left side, so what do you understand by discard packet and reject packet is all about? What do you understand? What is the difference between two things? If I'm going to do this discard the packets in the Juniper site, and somebody says I'm going to reject the packet, into the Juniper side. What does it mean is all about?
Usually your default route is a static route,
Yes, you're
and
right.
I mean the other it's the options like discard and reject. I mean you can have you can low not really low balance, but have a failover with the qualified next hop with a static route. And change the preference or put a preference there. Um, and then with static routes, I guess when you're implementing dynamic routes, you can have like a route that would appear if the dynamic does fails. So you have a static route for that, or you can export the default static route into the dynamic route.
I'm not able to understand. I'm just talking about here. What is the difference between this diskette packet and rejected packet?
Well, it says it here, reject. It gives you the ICMP so you know what's occurring on the packet. You can see it's being dropped. And discard, you don't see any error, so you don't know what's going on.
Yes, you're right. Yes, yes. So the matter of fact that in the diskette packet, it's a sideline packet. Okay, once the packet is dropped, no one understand. Yes, nothing is there. What happened into this? Suppose you are working in an environment where you're going to access dark web, okay, or this any website which is not in the part of your company domain. So automatically Juniper device is going to be discard the packet without sending any acknowledgement, whatever the packet it would be. But once the thing is second one is rejected, drop the packet and send ICMP. So we in this rejected packet we can going to do some ping commands, and we need to write down some IP addresses, and then we can going to come to know that the packet is dropped or not dropped. It means that the destination host unreachable command is come to the picture. You're not going to ping. The ICMP request is going to say that yes, the packet is right now is rejected from the device. So at least we can do some troubleshooting things on the rejected packets. If your policies is going to be rejected the packet, drop the packet. And the another thing is qualified next hop. The qualified next hop, it means that suppose you need to write down some IP addresses, prefixes 10.0.0.1/20 or 24 or 16. So once this particular routes capture the picture in the Juniper devices, it is automatically know that where is the next hop is there, because the series of IP addresses range is available in front of this particular interface. So smart operating systems of Juniper is came to understand yes what is the next hop is there. So in the packet forwarding engine, okay, the forwarding engine is comes to the picture. The packet forwarding engine is know that yes where we need to route the packet if this prefix comes to the picture. No, the advertise. Yes, it's not require any advertisement sort of things. So aggregate route is there in front of you. 10.1.14.0.0 0.24 10.1.15.0.0. So it's we can going to use it 14.0 slash. So prefixes it can be same. Prefix is available. So that is why earlier I say that it depends on it where what is the conditions, what is the prefix's value it is. So you can just write it down in the prefix's value is 10.1.14.0. So this is the range, and /24 range is there. So it can be route on a particular range. The packet would be. So router, Juniper routers, what is going to check it out? They are going to save the particular prefixes into their routing table. And if you're talking about some 10.1.14.1, it is a specific value of a specific routes. So this is the difference between the routes and aggregate routes. This is the aggregate routing is we are going to show it. Where there is we have provided some specific range like 10.1.0.0 /22. That is why you confused earlier that do we need to write /.1 or not. So this is the aggregate route we need to use it. But in the routes, there's a 1 or 2, whatever the value it will be there. So must have one contributing routing is there.
But in that example, there's not those two /24s can't be used with that /22.
Yeah, yes, you're right. Yes. Because it's class A IP address, so the subnet you can gonna use it as per your required. This is examples for it. This is only for examples.
Okay.
So you can use it. The prefix is at the subnet as per your subnets required in the company use cases.
What I'm saying is this: that you see, it says .14.15. The aggregate route says .1.0. So that /22 is 1,000 IPs. So it wouldn't cover that if it was like.
Yeah. That is why we are going to subnetting is required. It comes to the picture subnetting. Because 1,000 number of 1,000 number of subnets we cannot manage it.
What I wanted to ask is like if you added this in the configuration, how aggregate routes work, it would just reject these, right? Because it's not really in there. It's not
yes, it is rejected. Same time. Okay. It's if you have not configured correctly the routing and the subnet mask, okay, /24 is the incorrect information you're providing it. So it there may be some errors will be coming at same times in the routing. Okay. You need to fix it out same time in the logs. Go to the logs of the Juniper devices, and then the things comes to the picture. This is not going to be route, so that you need to clearly write down which is the correct interfaces and also the IP address and the separate mask.
Okay.
That is also the part of the misconfigurations of the devices is also for troubleshooting required. Okay. So most of the engineers are going to do some same sort of others. I also done so many times. I know that, but I understand that the misconfigurations will be happen just because of we have write down the incorrect subnet masking details of the specific IP address range.
Yeah, but another thing too, I wanted to understand aggregate and generated. They're a little confusing to me. Like, why would I do this? This is summarization, and it was versus generate. That was always confusing.
Summarizations is required. What are the different informations about the routing tables inside this? So summarizations going to provide informations where there is the next hops information. So it is going to be used for your troubleshooting approach, the route summarizations report, so that you understand what are the different routes. But in this particular scenarios I'm talking about, if we have done some misconfigurations on the routes, aggregate routes. So once you go for this route summarizations, it will going to provide the wrong informations.
Okay.
So generated routers route of the at least resort. So forwarding, next hop, and route policy defines required conditions for advertising. So primary contributing. So forwarding, next hop, and the route policies defines conditions where I have to route the advertisement. Thanks. So we have already discussed about this uh, instance import. So import and export of the instances sort of things, the routing policies, it is the one thing, and we can say that these things are into the Juniper devices. That is why the difference is always there, different vendors versus the Juniper devices. So used to share routes between routing instances. Okay, and designed for use with virtual routers. Does not work with VRFs, virtual router forwarders. Use auto export. Import is in relations to the RI routing instances. The routes are imported into destinations routing interfaces.
What's
So
the difference between this and rib groups?
which one?
Rib groups, like when you can share the table, the routing table, and you apply a rib groups on the routing option. What's the difference between doing an instance in import, this example you're giving me, versus rib groups?
I don't understand. I'm not able to understand your questions clearly. Please tell
Rib,
me again.
when you share, you can share routing tables, right? Like say you have inet.0 and you make up another table, like another routing instance, and you can share the tables and you can use rib groups to share
Routing
your routing.
routing tables are altogether different. The routing tables, it was going to provide the different routings, your neighbor information sort of things, different interface informations is there. But if you're talking about the instance import sort of things, so it is only the routing informations or the next routing instances informations are there as well. So in the routing informations, the route information table sort of things, we understand that where is the next hop, the interfaces, the IP addresses. But in the RI's routing interface instances, we have some routing informations available, which are the virtual, which are the correct routes. Okay, so where we need to import, because where it is coming from, the packet is coming from. Suppose it's coming from the BGP protocols. This is the Juniper device going to use some BGP protocols, so different protocols going to be pictured. Suppose I can going to say that you are going to use BGP device, BGP protocol, okay, and the other device which the traffic is coming from, the import coming from the OSPF. So you used to share the routes between routing instances. What are different routing instances there? It's a virtual routers, or it's the the traditional packets comes. So it's suppose if it is coming with the virtual route forwarding sort of things tables, so it is automatically exported, not the part of import. So import instances used to share routes between routing instances, designed used with the virtual routers does not. So VRF is already exported, not coming into the import status. Import is in relation to the routing instances. Routes are important to the destination RI instances. Export can control filter which routes are shared. Export is in the relation of routing instances. This is the example. Instance import provides primary functionality applied with destination routing instances used to identify which source RI is to import. So there it is. If you're just talking about here, import all routes. So RI routing instance is A and the routing instance is B. So my dear, what happened if this packet is coming from the routing table is inside this and the routes are there into this, and it is going to your destination site instance import. So it is coming from the different Juniper devices. It's going to instances imported, the routing tables and source ports. So it will capture all the informations into the cache or the routing. So the next time it will be coming, it is going to be know that yeah, this is the things will be coming. And export provides secondary functionality apply in source used to control restrict which routes are shared by the routes BI. So in the export is going to be controlling, but in import is only going to import the instances. That's it. So this is the things is there configurations based on the routing policies with all the capabilities defined routing policies. So only we have just write down the policies, but into the second apply policy to RI, then we have to export policies. We need to import export policies. We need to write it down. And it can be apply import multiple routing instances same time. Yes, so that's it for today. So we understand into this particular today's slides is routing informations, routing policies, how the route's going to be forwarding, how the BGP packet is going to working, how the prefixes, protocol, next hop, others. We understand over there the different routing filter. We understand in those slides the routing policies, common actions going to be do it. We understand static routing, how it's going to working into this, and we understand the aggregate routes, generated routes. Okay, we understand the instance import, and we understand here the instance export, how things going to working. So any questions into this?
No.
Okay, so thank you for your time, and tomorrow I will going to start some new things like BGP, MPLS or OSPF sort of things. So try to just, I'm just going to send this PPT to you, and also yesterday PPT. So you just study all of them. That's really important. So as per this book, if you're talking about this JNCIS books, I already shared to you. So this is routing policies is there. Okay. So we have studied this routing policies. There it is. In simple language. If you just take a look here, BGP is there, MPLS is there, OSPF is also there. So we have to, and advanced MPLS, advanced MPLS is also there. VPN is also there. So we have done this routing policies. We have to go for open shorter path first at OSPF, BGP, MPLS, VPN, and multicast. Okay, so step by step we are going to forward. I think you have understand all things. Hello, Oscar.
Yeah.
Are you able to? Are you understand everything?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect, wonderful. So what I'm trying to do, I'm just going to share all the informations and try to learn all the things which I'm talking to you. That's really important for your understanding, because we have to cover some advanced topics. Okay, in next few slides, because this is the basic things we have to cover it so that you can easily understand. Yes. What is all about. But in the MPLS, in the BGP, in the OSPFs, my dear, this very you know what, I cannot say it's difficult, but it's very complicated for things. So it's I think you need to go for good understanding about all things, the routing policies, routing Juniper routing policies, sort of things.
Okay.
Okay. So thank you for your time, and tomorrow I will be meet you on the same time. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.